Nova Aetas, a total overhaul mod for the 2010 classic Mount and Blade Warband. A mod which transforms the base game world from the simply fictional continent of Calradia, making it lean much further into its loose resemblance of real-world Europe, West Asia, the Middle East, and the New World. It does this by mimicking the early Renaissance period in the 14th century. The old Roman Calradic Empire has long since collapsed. Well, at least its western half has. The Slavic Tsardom is fighting for power and territory in the northeast. The Nords are fighting a civil war over religion and power, torn between traditional paganism and Christian modernity. The Italian Rhodoks surge forward into a modern era, wearing funny outfits and hats.
What is that?
The Venetian free city-state of Zendar is a financial superpower, forging trade routes across the realm, and the launching point of explorers setting out to conquer the New World, where primitive Aztecs stand ready to fight for their land and home. The papal state of Aldurius stands resolute, with Pope Gregory XVIII marching Catholics headfirst into this new era, despite governmental differences. But foul news comes from the southeast. The Byzantine Empire of Mithridates no longer stands as a shield between the Christian north and the Muslim south. The Muslim Saranid Sultanate long ago conquered the Holy Land of Hirosalima, and now their eyes look to the more fertile and temperate lands of the north. Where will you stand in this fight? Will you lead Catholicism in holy crusades and retake the Holy Land? Will you lead the Russian Orthodox Church to do the same, before conquering the Pope and his Vatican state as well, in the name of the Tsar and God? Will you join the Muslims in their jihad and cut a swath through Christendom with your scimitar? Or will you play colonizer and conquer the New World in the name of becoming a millionaire and hopefully not taking too much smallpox with you? And of course, where will you be when the Mongolian Turgan horde invades from the east? Will your empire stand strong in unity, or collapse under the weight of petty infighting? Now, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Or maybe you're just not a huge history nerd like myself who's also into mods for 15-year-old games, and I'm the weird one, which is probably the case. If you are anything like me though, I'm sure you are just vibrating in place in anticipation, halfway done installing this game and mod already. But hold your horses and take off your great helms, I've gotten a bit ahead of myself. So let's rewind and cover this mod in the way it deserves. If you haven't played a Mount and Blade game before, you are missing out big time. But before I get started, if you are enjoying this video so far, it would mean a lot to me if you like and subscribe. It lets the algorithm know that people like my videos. Oh, and if you don't like it, then slam that dislike button 2 times to let out all that rage so YouTube just stops showing anyone my videos. So, Mount and Blade, a series I find is best described as... Here, let's put it this way. A strategic medieval lord life simulator RPG. Yeah, that works. What sets Mount and Blade apart from nearly every other video game on the market is that the player can not only gather armies and command them, but may do so from the first or third person, personally taking part in the fighting while giving orders. Like a military strategy game, but you're not in the sky, you're on the battlefield. The basic gameplay loop is simple. Hire troops. Train your troops in battle using realistic commands and tactics like placing your archers on a hill or hiding your cavalry in a forest to charge an enemy's flank. Then upgrading the troops by paying for better gear and training, and repeat. Your goal is eventually to pledge yourself as a vassal to a king, participate in epic siege battles to take castles, villages, and cities in his honor, which you may then be rewarded. You will serve as lord or lady, upgrading and managing your fiefs as you see fit. And eventually, you may usurp the throne for yourself, creating your own kingdom, convincing lords to join you and serve you as their king, and uniting all the lands under one kingdom, yours. But the gameplay in Mount and Blade games doesn't end there. There is also in-depth trading mechanics, allowing you to set up businesses in cities for profit. Or, of course, you can take on the role of a merchant and manually trade goods and develop your own trade routes. The game has a reactive, simulated economy, so this can be very lucrative. You may accidentally flood the market with flour, making it dirt cheap and lose profit. Or you may come across a starving village, whose emaciated inhabitants are willing to pay absurd amounts for some flour and salt. I'm sure you can already tell what gives Mount and Blade its appeal, and you may be willing to try it, even just after hearing that. But this video isn't just about Mount and Blade, of course. It's about Nova Aetas, which transforms every base game mechanic and adds plenty more. There are a few core mechanics added by Nova Aetas which will define any playthrough. 1. Your character's social class and prestige. 2. Your religion and piety. And 3. Your kingdom's level of technological advancement. When you start a new game of Nova Aetas, you won't just be poor. You'll also be a peasant.
You what?
Lords and ladies will treat you like the dirt you are. Building an army is far too costly for someone of your stature, so you'll have to ask a lord for permission to chop and sell timber on their land, start a farm to sell flour, and get a job in town with hope of someday becoming more in this life. Now, you probably won't get that far, but if you do, congratulations, you've ascended to the middle class. You may now be able to afford and train a small army, and serve as a mercenary for a kingdom of your choosing, netting a small weekly profit. Somewhere between being awarded the unbelievably fat, ugly, and senile traits, as well as being taken as a slave by tundra bandits, you'll eventually win enough battles and buy and upgrade enough businesses in town to yet again rise in social class. This, though, will be the bulk of your mid-game. But with any luck, you'll eventually get powerful and rich enough to become recognized by a king. If so, you may swear to them your fealty and vassalage. Now, being nobility has its privileges. You will, of course, be offered a fiefdom, the smallest and poorest town in your kingdom, but nonetheless take care of it, and eventually castles and cities may come your way. As a noble, you'll be attending royal banquets, taking prisoners of war, forging allies whom one day may serve you, and possibly arranging a politically and economically prosperous wedding for yourself. Marry the king's daughter to forge strong alliances with his closest friends before rising against him, that kind of thing. Finally, after making plenty of blue-blooded friends, you may rise to the highest social class of all, that of a monarch.
Wow!
As emperor or empress, you will command armies of multiple lords, control the economic and judicial laws of your empire, and get to conquering everything. Now, that is all well and good, but let's be honest here. You can't get anywhere in life by being an atheist, so while creating your character, make sure to choose a religion. This is where things get exciting, in my opinion. Your religion has a massive impact on gameplay, and let's be honest, it's why we're all here. In towns where your religion isn't dominant, you'll suffer a massive trade and recruitment penalty. And in towns which do follow your faith, you'll be wanting to attend religious services, donate, and of course pay 10% of your weekly income in tithes. Attending a religious service will raise your piety level by 1. Every 10 levels of piety gained up to level 100 will increase how much people like you, and also directly increase your charisma attribute by 1, permanently, allowing you to allocate more skill points into leadership and in turn grow larger armies. Wait a minute. It looks like the Muslims have taken the Holy Land. Jerusalem, the ancient Hebrew name for Jerusalem, is not only the home of 3 world religions, but the home of many wars. On any Christian, Jewish, or Muslim playthrough of Nova Aetas, you'll fight many battles for the Holy Land. Occasionally, if under Muslim control, the Pope will call a crusade. Christians of all nations will set aside their enmity for one another, make peace, and meet in a Crusader camp on the map. They will prepare for roughly 2 in-game weeks before setting off for the Holy Land. Contrarily, if Christians hold the Holy Land, the Muslim Sultan will call for a holy jihad, where the opposite thing happens. During your time in either camp, you'll have access to special troops, weapons, horses, and armor to fully kit yourself and your army out in crusading gear. So make sure to show up to God's holy war with heavy pockets. By now, I'm sure you're crusading and conquering to your heart's content, so I suppose I'll just be on my way and finish up this video. Ah, damn it. The Muslims discovered cannons. Now, if you know anything about the 14th century, or have just played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, then you'll know that gunpowder was already shaping the future of warfare and the planet as we know it. The same is true in Nova Aetas. Over the course of a playthrough, kingdoms will independently advance in technology, improving their units' armor and weapons, as well as gaining access to field artillery, such as cannons and early firearms, like flintlock pistols and muskets. The differences won't be major at first, but you'll definitely notice it when your level 1 tech army absolutely folds over when charging a tech stage 5 army, with sharper steel and a line of musketmen. A minor lord won't have much control over the academics, but they can pay attention to the world around them. The Nordic Huskarls have always been the world's strongest infantry, but if the Swadians have discovered advanced blacksmithing techniques, then the strongest troops of the past will no longer stand come face to face with an evolving world. So always pay attention to the technological state of the land. Once taking over a kingdom, though, you will be able to have an impact. A ruler is able to adjust the amount of income they'd like to be nationally devoted to academic research. So the most wealthy empires will leave others scrounging in the dirt of the past. There are many, many more mechanics I don't have time to go over in this video, such as a robust and complex crafting system, companion management, character traits, and colonization, just to name a few. So, if you are interested in learning everything about this mod, I recommend visiting the Fandom Wiki, a source which has been very helpful in my learning what the heck do I do next journey. I'll also leave a link to a series of video tutorials I followed when I got stuck down in the description. Nova Aetas has so much to offer. The emergent storytelling and role-playing mechanics leave room for telling an infinite amount of unique stories and playing an equal amount of unique characters. I can already see myself playing a Norse pagan in the future and attempting to conquer the whole world in the name of the old gods, or simply a mercenary bandit type who may eventually find religion and finally devote their life to honor and faith. I have always wanted to play an RPG game based on the Crusades, and Nova Aetas has always flown under my radar. Having finally experienced it though, I can say that my desire for crusading has finally been fulfilled. I do feel obligated to mention here that at times this game and mod are less than perfect. Despite my immense enjoyment, I admit that Warband is an old game at this point, and its graphics were a bit old-fashioned even when it was released 16 years ago. Sometimes the AI is just plain stupid and things won't work the way you'd hope. Like, farming in this game is a huge pain in the ass, you'll see why, but it's still worth it. You get loads of money from it, so just do it. But all of that doesn't mean you shouldn't give this game a try. I can't wait to explore more of this game's modding scene. There's even a few other overhaul mods out there which are fully dedicated to the Crusades in the Middle East, which you may also want to check out if this is your thing. I'll be taking a look at them soon and maybe making a video on them as well if I like them. So keep an eye out for that. Oh, and one last thing. If you're thinking about giving this a try, make sure to also install the Mount and Blade Warband script extender. It is quite literally a game changer when it comes to graphics, loading times, and overall performance. Now, I hope you have all enjoyed this video, and give Nova Aetas a try. Let me know down in the comments below how you like it, and drop any questions you may have down there as well. This mod is complex and takes some time to learn, so if you're not sure what to do or how to do something, I may have that answer for you. For now, my name has been Sir Schmib, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Until next time.